Hello, Mario! In this video I'm going to do a roundup of the scheme plan. Since I saw you last, I have done a lot more work on the scheme plan and it's, well, pretty much complete, although I'm sure that there will be various bits and pieces in need of attention, and these will come to light as we work through the plan. So this is just a bit of a recap. In terms of the topo or the surface, which is what we want, we now have that generated in 12D, and we have our layout or our proposed layout all sorted pretty much with our road alignment as well. So now that that's done, it remains to go into 12D and do some exercises around initially road design and then sanitary sewer, stormwater and water. So this plan here represents the surface. I've tried to make the surface so that all of the sections fall towards the road. Typically in a situation like this we will have a piece of land that we are going to subdivide, generally a fixed and finite entity. So we may decide to subdivide the whole piece all at once or do it in stages, in which case we come out with a layout for the whole bit and then cut that down to a stage. So what we've got here would possibly represent a stage, or if in fact that was the shape of the piece of land, the whole bit of land. So on here, this is the, I've given this high importance, this is the surface and its relationship to our proposed layout, which I have greyed out. It's not the full black and white, it's just a grey underneath bit of the surface. The surface is appearing grey here because I have XREF'd that in, so it's showing as a shade of grey to indicate that it's an XREF rather than specific in the plan. I've also put up here the existing sewer, stormwater and water, and so I've got them shown here, the couple of fire hydrants for the water with the coordinates of their lids, the lid and the lid level. Two existing sanitary sewer manholes, I've shown them in under the footpath, which probably wouldn't happen, but for the purposes of this exercise reasonably convenient, again with their coordinates and height and their depth to their invert level. So these are existing ones. I've shown the sanitary sewer as a 300 diameter pipe, so that should be more than adequate to take all of the sewer from this subdivision and a good few others as well down that existing line. The stormwater line I've shown as a 900 mil diameter, so again that should be more than sufficient, and it's under the footpath with the manhole lids appearing in the footpath. You'll notice if I zoom in the symbol that I've used for the manholes. It's actually a representation of a manhole. You'll notice that with a manhole the actual lid tends to be to one side. This is usually, or if possible, aligned with the downstream side of the pipe. So this means that if, say for instance, the manhole was full of water or overflowing, you know that if you took the lid, it would generally have the steps in this region, and you could be guided straight down to the outlet of the pipe, so should you wish to be sort of looking at unblocking it. So the symbol that I've used here for the 1200 outside diameter manhole, you typically 1050 inside, and then a 600 manhole cover. So, and I've given the coordinates for the center of the manhole covers, as they would be the only visible element of the manhole, you know, visible from the surface. So that's what we would be going through. So that's just got those in there. I'll just remind you that this is very preliminary stages. So these could well change over time as we refine our design. Now typically we have a piece of land that we measure and subdivide. In this case here, slightly differently, I've matched the bit of land as best I can to the alignment. So this is a exercise, a virtual exercise. The purpose is to investigate subdivision design. So in doing it in this manner, it enables each of the people doing the design to have a unique set of data, which is quite important in these sort of things. So this is why we're doing this. It's a student exercise. I've also put up here notes with regards to the coordinate datum and the height datum. And all of these, again, they are in the range of the, you know, what is real, but they are not actually real as such. They have been manufactured, so they don't. If you put this into Google Earth, you would obviously encounter some problems because this land doesn't exist at these coordinates. So the second sheet, and we'll just bring it up into full view here. It seems that I've got things a little there. The second part of the plan is the cadastral, what I call the cadastral sheet, and survey control. And again, this is very much contrived, so I have not given it a lot number, but just the total area. So this is the piece of land that we are subdividing. I've provided the bearings and distances around the outside. I've shown boundary pegs at the corners, and to do those I've had to generate a wipeout. I've included a copy, or I would recommend a copy of my video, Maureo Draws a Wipeout, to show you how to do the pegs and in fact how to do these marks. Well, not perhaps those marks there, but they have certainly been generated by a wipeout. You'll see that if I click on this line here, that the line goes all the way to the center, but the wipeout means that it's only visible where it goes under the actual symbol there. So I've put in 3 survey control points, and I've matched them to the surface so that their heights roughly coincide with the surface heights. Remembering, of course, that the iron tube PF there has been buried. I've put here a table showing their coordinates and some details about them: a brass plaque, flush and footpath, and an iron tube set in concrete down 100 mils. So they're there. Essentially the outside boundaries is what you would have, and some survey control, minimum of 3 marks. This would enable anyone coming up here to start the job to be able to set up over this mark here, possibly backsite this mark with a check onto here, and then start setting out whatever they wish, or the design that we had. So that's a fairly simple sheet. Again, it's got the datum notes there, which I've copied from the previous sheet, and I'm just going to do the same little correction that I did to that one. I'll do that here as well. The meters should perhaps be a lowercase, just a little bit. It pays to sort these problems out as you go along, because invariably you say, oh, I must fix that, and then promptly forget to come back. Finally, in the third sheet is the land use sheet here, and I've shown the setbacks. I've chosen the Hamilton City Council District Plan, and I've suggested that we were in the living zone, where we have a 3 metre 3.00 road boundary setback here. That's this one here. And then we also have a 1.5 side and rear yard setback with a 15 metre diameter shape factor circle inside setbacks, inside these setbacks. That should probably be better, so I can just check. Oops, where's that? Is that in model, or let's try and select that. Looks like it's in paper space. It looks like it's in model space. Select the M text. Inside the setbacks. Okay, oops, well, that probably to be in caps. Okay, and so that's the sort of regime that I've put in place with the setbacks. I'll put a little example here. Here's our curb and channel that we're using. Just remember that in our things we've sort of raked that back 5 mils, so that's 5 mils and 95 mils, just to get over some little intricacies with the software that we're using. And then here's our typical cross section for all of the streets. So that's our land use. So at this stage here, I'm saying that that's probably sufficient information going forward. We've got a fairly well considered a layout, and we've got our typical cross sections. We've got a good surface that we're working on, so now it remains just to go forward, and we're going to do some design on that surface largely in 12D, and then once we've got those finalized, possibly bring them back to create some more sheets in this plan set for the Hill Valley subdivision. I will do a little video on a little quick way that I've found to do the setbacks there, which might be quite good, and I'll include that in my portfolio of videos that I have. I'm just looking at that there. Come back to there. It doesn't seem to want to, like that, and the 3 should perhaps be there, like that. Oh, 3. Just so I'm trying to get the decimal points to line up, unsuccessfully I might add, so it's probably a relation to the size of the numbers, but we could possibly do that with a tab up here in the thing, but I think I'll just leave it how it is there for now, and all well and good. Cheers, see you.